on for the ones that just joined the live. Yes, we're not gonna be live on YouTube, but yeah, let's see for how long we can take this. We can just say, yeah, pin it. How do I pin it? I really don't know. How do I pin it? Like saying that not live on YouTube. Okay, and then I publish, and then and then fixa. Cool. Well,
You pinned.
living and learning.
Absolutely.
Let's just do this. Yeah, let's go. Be ready.
Yep.
Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Queencast. I am Talita, the dance queen, and together with me here today, I have Jess, the
Hi,
other
guys.
queen.
Hello.
So we are starting this crazy idea of having the podcast. It was pretty much my idea. I just have to remember about it.
It was your idea. It was your idea. You brought me along for the ride.
And yes, Jess is an amazing friend and always supporting the craziest ideas that I have. Said yes to this project, so thank you so much. And the project is the Queencast, where we're going to talk about, it's a bit of lifestyle. So it's just talking about a little bit of how it is my lifestyle, which involves like plenty of crazy things, because I've been doing lots of crazy things since I pretty much was born. and today, what we're going to talk about is how everything is started, like how I was born. No, that's not the topic.
I mean, you were born.
Yeah.
So we can get past that pretty
That's
quickly.
one thing, yeah.
You exist. You're here today.
That's one thing that I need to talk about, because actually, how do you explain when a lady is pregnant and then she gives birth and then she cuts
The cord.
something so she can't get pregnant anymore?
Oh, like getting their like tubes tied,
Yeah,
or
so
having
this
like a
is-
hysterectomy.
Exactly. So this is exactly what my mom did after my second sister was born. And then 5 years later, I was a miracle. I'm not kidding. That's true.
I remember you telling
My
me
mom
about that.
actually took the whatever she had to take from the hospital, like as a proof that it was all done. She would never have a baby anymore. And then my mom had to cry for 9 months. And yeah, it's starting a bit of a story of my life. My mom cried for 9 months and I didn't have a name. And my middle sister heard in the radio, and then she was like, let's name her Talita. And this is how the queen was born.
Podcast done, over. We can go home now. This is good. They know all about you. This is perfect. No, there's more to the story than that. And I reckon that's really what we want to do today, is
Yes.
kind of start not quite at that beginning, but like the beginning of the queen.
Yes,
Because-
we're going to talk a bit of, dancing life and business life as well. Like the craziness that it is of being a woman and having how I started in dancing, because of course this is how now I got to be famous here in Australia. It is through the dancing, through samba, which is part of my culture. So yes, so
And
today,
your mum didn't even want you to dance.
yeah, my mom didn't even want me
She
to
didn't
dance.
want you.
She didn't want me. She didn't want me to dance. What's up, mom?
And yet you exist, and yet you are a dancer. So you've done very well to get there.
Very successful, yeah. And I think this could actually be like, ways of me thinking that everything I want to do in life, I would be successful, because it sat from very beginning of me fighting for something and actually getting that. I just understand that it is what it is. It's meant to be,
Yeah, and I mean, I have to admit, you're probably one of the luckier people that I know. Like, as far as good fortune is concerned, like, you've had a lot that's come your way. You've had a lot of things that you've had to work through, and we'll get to that later on. But, like, ultimately, you have had, like, quite a lot of luck, and you've had a lot of good fortune with people coming to you. I mean, with what's going on right now, which we'll talk about later on.
Yeah.
Everything's kind of fallen into place, which is great. Like, you're in a good place right now.
It is.
But I think like sometimes you can't really move forward without acknowledging where you've come from. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I think we want to talk about a little bit today, because I mean, I've known you actually today I got a
The Facebook friend thing.
yeah. I got an anniversary
It's our
from you.
friend's anniversary. So we started to be friends 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
And look at this. This is like it is a miracle. My life, it's a miracle. Jess, you are a miracle in my life. So yeah, 3 years anniversary. Congratulations to us.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Cute.
And I feel like lucky to have you. And this is how we're gonna roll today. So
Pretty much.
I brought Jess here today to pretty much help me, introduce myself. Instead of me being here just talking about myself, we're going to have this cool conversation because she's a friend. We started as a student. She was a student. I was a teacher. But then we
3
became...
years ago.
Yeah, that was 3 years ago. But we are now friends. Jess knows lots about my crazy ideas, my life, my personal life. And I think, we wouldn't have a better person to be.
I don't know. That being said, though, like I know snippets of your life, but there's so many things that I don't know about you. So like for me today, like for you to be telling me some of these stories about where things started, it's stuff that I'm hearing for the first time. Like, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, like, okay, let's take it back. So you weren't really even wanting. Your mum wasn't even really wanting you to dance.
Okay, can we skip that part?
How did we? Yeah, but how did you end up getting to that point? Like, what happened in that position? Like, how did you come across dance when you first started out?
Well, what I had to do was I remember at school, like primary. It wasn't really primary school, like probably through year 5 or 7 here. At school, they had this audition that you could come and then if you pass, you would just dance for free. So like a scholarship.
Yeah, okay.
And then I found out about the audition. I was just like, yeah, okay, I'm going to go and try because I really like dancing. So
Was it a style that they were taking you through?
That was in the 90s. So
I mean, there was a lot of moves in the 90s that we don't do anymore.
So, jazz, I would say that it was a bit of jazz.
Like jazz,
So, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
And then, probably 4, 5, 8 of dancing. And then I passed and I started to go to these dance classes without my mom knowing. So I was just...
So you didn't have to pay for these classes?
No,
or
I didn't
anything
have
like
to
that?
pay for these classes. And then
That would have gotten obvious real quick if you needed to pay for those classes.
I mean, there are other part of my life that I won't tell in this podcast. But anyways, yeah.
At the age of how old?
I was 12 years
Yeah,
old.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So the year was 2000. Yeah, year 2000. So it was in the 90s.
Yeah.
But this is how I started. And anyways, at some point, this girl comes to church. So my family is a very conservative family. I wouldn't say that they are very conservative anymore because we've learned a lot through the years, just with how life is. But at the time, yes, we are from church, and then this girl comes and she does these amazing dances, and then my mommy started to see dance in another way. It's just because back in the time, people from church would think that dance is from the devil or something. And it's really incredible how I got here in Australia now, and I go to church and I get to dance at church. So
That's true. You kind of come full circle.
Yes, exactly. So,
That's true.
Yeah, and then so my mom saw that and then goes like, oh yeah, maybe it could be a gift or something. And then she decides to pay for a dance school where I went next to the neighborhood where we used to live, and yeah.
And then, I mean, like, obviously from that point onwards, you were then exposed to different sort of styles. You're probably training more, yes? Like, it was becoming a bigger part of your life?
Not at that time, because it was a bit of a mess there. So we were still living in this neighborhood. My mom was going through, getting promoted and etc. So that was from when I was, let's say, 13 to 15 to 16 years old.
Okay.
Then
and you had school and stuff as well
yeah,
that you still
yeah.
had going
so
on.
I
So,
would
I mean,
just,
like, you weren't stopping
yeah,
that.
I would just take it as, 2 nights a week.
Okay.
I would dance, and then I did get this part of a scholarship as well for my high school through dancing.
Okay.
Another audition that I passed, and then got a scholarship. And then after that, we had to move to another neighborhood, and then there it's when I joined this company. I also got a scholarship. How good am I? Yeah, so got a scholarship, and then there I had to train every day, 8 hours a day. So
Okay.
instead of going to uni, I decided
That was what you were going to study,
yes,
per se.
exactly.
Okay.
So the year was 2006. I did that for a year, and then I was meant to just carry on. But then 2007 again, I went to another audition because why not? And this time was for international job. So I passed the audition, and then I had my first international contract. That was Israel
That
as
was
a
the Israel
professional dancer.
contract.
Yeah.
And you went with a few other girls over there, didn't you?
Not really.
You were by
So
yourself?
I was by myself, and here's something funny because I told so at the time I was already dating with my husband today. So I didn't tell him, I didn't tell anyone about this audition. Like I said in the very beginning when we were talking, I'm very superstitious, right?
Yeah, you don't want to jinx anything.
Yeah, and even though like I know that people love me and I know that people love me, they better. They wishing, the best. They still, how sometimes people love you so much that they just don't want to let you go.
And also pressure. Like if you tell more people that you're auditioning, there's more pressure on you to do well.
Exactly.
So like you have that hanging over your head a little bit more as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're getting them, potentially worked up for you to go away. And then if you don't go away, then it's like, well, what was that for? Like it was built up for nothing.
Yeah.
So I get it.
So for this one, I didn't tell anyone apart from my cousin that came with me because they had no idea what to expect. So I was literally by myself and I was 17 to 18 years old. And I went to the audition, I passed. And then 2 weeks before I left, I had to tell my mom because I didn't have a passport and because I was under 18.
Underage.
My mom had to
Sign off.
sign for my passport for me to get a passport. So that's why I told her. And my
Can
mom,
you get a passport that quickly in Brazil?
well,
in
no,
2 weeks?
Well, I can't really, but we just give it a bit of money. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, tell me. 'Cause
No, I didn't do that.
I had to send my passport to Manila, the
Yeah,
Philippines, to even
nah.
get granted to go over to the UK.
Nah.
And I was even scared I wasn't going to get it back. So you could even get...
Well, it does take up to 3 months to have your passport
Yeah.
ready, but like I said, my life, I can say it is a miracle. It's just things happens because it has to happen. And and then yes, I met this guy. So I went by myself, 17 to 18 years old. By myself to this place, the police station, whatever, and with all the forms, and then I just told this guy, like nowadays I keep telling Alex or everyone, I was just like, I have this contract, I'm going to Israel. I
have a date.
I need this passport, please help me. And he's like, leave it with me. On Tuesday, you call me. That was Friday. And then he was just like,
who wants to do anything on a Friday so it's ready on a Tuesday?
He's like, call me on Tuesday. I called him on Tuesday. I had my passport ready before the 2 weeks, actually. So it was all good. And then when I got my passport, I told Wiz, which is my husband now, he was so, mad. But anyways, that's a story for another topic. And
Hey, he's still here with you to this day, so clearly it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, and then I got my passport, went to Israel. My mom, she was just like, oh my God, when you get there, you do not give your passport to anybody's hands, yeah? Because we do know, everyone thinking, I don't know, what the heck? Are you going to be a dance in Israel? Like, why? Like Israel, everyone thinks that it's people with the what's the name of the thing that they use to cover their head, and and very conservative, which was nothing like that. So when I get to Israel, the first thing the lady, my production, she would say, can I please have your passports? And I'm like,
17-year-old you passing it over straight
then by
away.
the time I was already 18. But yeah, so it was just like crazy. My mom was just like, what's happening? I remember when I was packing, she thought, anyways, it was just a bit of a mess. No one was really believing that this was happening, but it was. And I went to Israel, worked there for a full year, then went back to Brazil, and they called me again. So I did a total of 3 years in Israel. Yeah.
That's crazy. With the same company, like the same
company,
shows,
yes.
Everything like that.
It was a theater. It's called Israel. They actually have Instagram called Wow Show A Lot. So if you're too curious, you can just head now and not now. You stay here with me. Later, you go check, and they have an Instagram as well. But that was 2007.
Yeah.
So obviously Instagram wasn't a thing. I remember the iPhone, they launched it when I was there.
What, the actual iPhone?
Yeah, the actual iPhone.
I had a conversation actually the other day with someone about the iPhone, but we talked about like the iPod and how many songs you could fit on those things and how big they were. And I mean, like, the first time I ever saw an iPod was in a 50 Cent video clip, and I was like, what is that?
And it's great that it's all related
Yeah.
to dancing and music.
100%. I mean, where would we be without wireless headphones?
Exactly.
The dancer dream. Absolutely.
So this is what happened to me in this early stage when as professional dancer, and did a contract for 3 years in total. But there is a bit of, going back to Brazil, getting married in 15 days, going back to...
And you dragged Weiss across as well.
And then I
so
dragged
eventually
Weiss.
you allowed him to come over. But as your husband.
As my husband.
And so when you got back from Israel and went back to Brazil, there was that stint that you had where you got married before you went over again.
Yeah.
In 15 days.
Yeah, so I went from my first contract, I went to Brazil on February, and then March was my birthday. We proposed, not knowing about anything about, going back to
because
Israel.
he doesn't know about anything because you don't tell him about when you're going. Just leaving him in the dark.
But I didn't know either this time. So he proposed thinking, oh yeah, by the end of the year we could get married. But nah, then like 2 days later, I received an email, hey, we'd like to come back. And I'm like, hell yeah.
Sure.
So I told him, I said, I'm coming back. I didn't give him an option. I just said, I'm going back. And I did give an option of coming with me or just then splitting forever because, I mean, it's long distance relation. You can walk to a point, but...
Well, yeah, I mean, like Ben just got back from overseas and I was just about to go overseas. We knew each other for like a month and a half and then I was like, bye.
This is exactly
for 2 years I was supposed to go away. I didn't go away. But he came over. They come over.
Yeah.
If Clearly, they're onto something good.
Yeah, this is something that
and we're all still together, so that obviously worked out well.
Yeah, this is something that later I definitely want to go back to this.
Yeah.
How crazy these, how queen I am in changing Wee's lives and.
Well, because he wasn't even involved in anything that was like remotely to do with dance.
Nah. He was.
So when he was in Brazil, he wasn't doing anything to do with that.
Nah, when he proposed, he was actually doing his PhD in animal science, and now he's a stage manager. So nothing to do. But anyways, yeah, so he proposed in March. 3 days later, they did invite me to go back. I told him, and then so my birthday is 29th of March, and I
know you've been trying to organize your birthday for 5 years, 84 years.
And in 24th of April, we got married. So that's less than a month that he proposed.
And you managed to get married.
And the marriage and everything, like the party, wedding, blah, 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 it was in 15 days. Finding a dress, finding a place, rings, etc., inviting people through the phone. And back in 2008, we didn't even have like
the internet like we normally do now.
Like we could send a save the day or whatever, an invitation
Don't
through
have that same
WhatsApp.
sort of level of sophistication.
Yeah, I couldn't. So I literally had to call my bridesmaids, my bridesmaids were my sisters and my best friends. They already knew all the mess that my life was anyways.
Everything happened quickly with you. You got your passport quickly, got married quickly.
Boom. Now we're here doing the Queencast.
You're putting a fringe show on very quickly.
Putting a fringe show on, yes.
Everything you do with tenacity and speed.
I do last minute. That's the truth.
Well, I mean, if it's worked this far, then why change it up?
Yeah.
I mean, like you've got a good thing going on, so why make a change?
Getting more organized now, and I believe that the more organized that I get, more stuff I get as well. So you see how things are happening this year here in
You're
Australia.
thinking like a few more steps ahead perhaps, because I think when you're living, well, now you've been here for I've known you for 3 years here.
Yeah.
You know more people as well, and I think that helps you with the things that you want to work on, is because you know who to contact. Like I can contact this person, I can contact that person, and you had your sisters to organize your wedding, so that was something that you helped as well. It's like, you've always got your people in your corner, and you can use those people to help you along the way, which you've done. And you got married, and you two went away to Israel.
Yeah.
And then Weiss became an animal science converted stage manager.
Exactly, yeah. And then from there, it's when everything started boom, 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 boom. If I get into too much details here, there are so many crazy stories, even in Israel. Anyways, I'm not going to even get there. But Yeah, so after this contract, I had the chance to meet this amazing friend called Renata. And when we went back to Brazil, she had worked. So it's so crazy that, well, I will still leave this for another day. But it is so crazy how we met. But she was the one that was the contact for me to work with the big jobs that I've done in my life. So since we went back then, we started with the 2011 World something game, military games, World Military Games. So
In Brazil?
Yeah, so that was hosted in Brazil.
Yeah.
I was contracted as a choreographer. So this is how my life as a choreographer started.
Yeah, okay.
Then from that was 2011. Then 2012, we got this big contract with TV Global as a choreographer as well. And I remember my whole life as a dancer, all I used to say was like, I really wanted to work for Global TV. Please, please, please. I really want it. And then it happened.
What's so good about Global TV?
Well, it's a TV channel. So imagine Channel 7, Channel 9, I don't know. A famous channel here that has like all these
events?
TV shows like The Voice.
Oh, okay. I'm with you.
So they are the biggest one in Brazil.
Okay,
So,
I'm with you.
Yeah, and then they had this big TV show called Domingão do Faustão, which is on Sundays. And it's like, you know, it's open TV, so people sit and watch. That was a huge thing for me. It is still, if I say, he's here to prove. When I say he, I mean him. That it is a big thing. But anyways, yeah, so we got this big contract for Domingão do Faustão as a choreographer as well for 2 years, and that was amazing. Together in the 2012, we finished the contract at Global TV, and then we get this massive contract to go to the Olympics, London 2012.
That's a good one.
Yes.
That's a good one.
That was amazing. That was
How the hell did you get that?
Well, it was all through this friend called Renata that I brought her to Israel as a dancer, and then it's so crazy. She auditioned me to go to Israel. So she was the one running the audition.
Okay.
I passed, I went to Israel.
Yeah,
2 years later, I invited her to come to Israel because at the time I was the dance captain and then kind of helping managing the cast.
Oh, I'm with you, yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I know this person. We need a dance. Okay, contact Renat. So she comes and she is subordinate, like under me. I was like her captain, and then we go back to Brazil and she's starting getting
roles reversed.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
But you help each other out.
Yeah, and it worked super well because she was always my director. And
Did
then,
she go with you to London?
Yes, she was the director. So
Oh,
she was the
amazing.
director, and then she hired the choreographer she wanted in her
My
team.
gosh. So how many people were you in charge of for the choreography?
For
London?
For London, thousands and thousands, because they all volunteer. So that was for
Yeah.
the opening. That was
Oh
for
my
the
gosh.
closing ceremony. So it was called flag handover. That the reason we were there is because we had the next Olympic Games in 2016 would be in Rio.
Okay, yeah.
So you have to have a city.
like a handover?
Yes.
like here's
Exactly.
the next games.
Yeah. And then
And they
the
chose
team-
like a Brazilian.
Yeah, they
Okay.
chose like a team that it was half Brazilian, half Italian, and then they hired people, and then these people would nominate who they wanted.
They
their
kind of
team.
hired their people kind of thing.
Yeah. So I was invited. We went there with thousands of volunteers that we had to choreograph and work with them. And that was the first time I actually worked with passistas, which is what is passistas. So the girls that dance samba. So it was mainly, when you talk about Rio, it's all about a bit of samba, Amazon, whatever. So that was the first time that I had like contact and I had to choreograph for girls who dance samba.
But okay, because let's take it back. Because you obviously were doing more classical based training when you were going through your study in Brazil. How much of a connection did you have to those roots, to those samba roots?
Oh yeah, I think it's all related anyways.
Yeah.
It's just like it is something that I see every day, that I used to see every day. And I can tell today as well, it's good that you brought this up, that I can tell today that this is in my blood and I can't deny.
No. Yeah,
So,
I see.
Maybe I didn't know how to work as a professional samba dancer, but the ginga, the way, the sway was already there, and then it is. But another good thing as well is that you can see from 2012 to 2022 that I have a style to walk, which is very based on jazz as well. So
you can tell when people are classically trained.
Yeah.
If they're a samba dancer but they have got classical training, you can kind of pick it.
Yeah,
in the way that they move.
Yeah, and
it's just a style. It's just their personal style.
And it's amazing that I can see that from back in 2012 and still nowadays I use exactly the same style, even though now I research more and then I train more to train people.
And I mean, I bet if you cast your mind back to the kind of style of those pasista samba dancers then, like it's come a long way. Like I think if you think back to that time to now, if they're still dancing, you'd be wondering, it'd be interesting to see like how they would dance, because you'd like to think that they would have evolved as everyone else has. But like that's obviously what they had to work with, and that's what you had to work with at the time.
Yeah, because it evolves the whole time, and exactly.
And was it like for you, like you had that group of people that you had to choreograph work with, but like thousands of other people who are volunteers. That's a lot of things to have to juggle.
Yeah,
in that one
and
show.
Different styles, because we worked with samba, capoeira, maracatu. Well, samba de gafieira, lots of things. Yeah. It was amazing. It was an amazing experience, not just as a professional, but life experience, because they get to pay. They paid everything plus my wages. I was rich in London.
And that's saying something. Exactly. Because London is not cheap.
No, not cheap. Living in pounds is not cheap at all. So
it is not. Can tell you from experience.
It was really good. Then after 2012, we went back to Brazil. 2013, we have the contract with Global TV again and the Confederations Cup. So it was FIFA
World Cup.
Yes, not the World Cup, the Confederation.
Ah, okay,
yeah,
all right.
So that was 2013. We finished all of that, big jobs as well, big things, thousands of people to choreograph. It was an amazing experience again. Then we were hoping that 2014 we're going to be picked for the World Cup, which didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then Global TV also goes and say, hey, we're not renovating your contract. So that was the big boom.
That was like the change
for
up.
all of us being like, oh my God, what.
No longer a stage. Go back to animal science.
Yeah, very much. This is exactly what happened, because then Waze started studying for these, exams to teach science at schools, and then he became a professor. And but then one day, he's already teaching and he sees this pop up on the internet saying, come walk on cruise ships. And then he calls me, hey, just sign up for this. And I'm like, why? He was like, I just signed up for this. Let's just sign up for this. And then we signed up, and 2 days later they called us, of course, because we did have experience. So so they called us, and then we joined the cruise ship as a stage staff, and then I joined the cruise ship as an entertainer. So it was just crazy. We worked on the cruise ship for 4 years, so 2014 to 2017. I was about to get promoted and people were pushing, but I just didn't want to. I just guess I like being free of ideas and doing whatever I want.
Were you kind of put into like a bit of a box? Were you like were you restricted with what you could do when you were on the ships? Like there was only so much creative control that you could have.
Exactly. So
that wouldn't have worked well for you.
Not at all.
You're not good at that.
Yeah. So this is when I was like, I had enough. Let's just go home and see what we can do.
If you've been doing cruise ships from 2014 to 2017, like that's a decent stint.
Yeah.
Like being an entertainer on a ship is like go. You
gotta be smiling every day. Yeah, you're always happy.
That's exhausting.
You don't have a sad life ever.
I wouldn't last that long.
Yeah. So what happened was that we went back to Brazil and thought, let's not live in Brazil. We love Brazil as tourists, but we don't really want to be here because we've seen so much from the world. And then we started to thinking of moving, So we have 3 options. One was going back to London because we lived there.
Yeah.
but we had American dollars and we want to go to a place where the money would increase. So we were like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So then our second option was Canada, but then again, too cold, boring. And Australia, we the same week saw an article saying that Adelaide was in the top 10 best
livable cities.
Yeah.
I can't believe people read that.
He's a nerd.
But we talk about that because we're from here. But like, I don't expect people in London to be like, ooh.
No, I think they do.
There you go. SA Tourism Marketing's working.
Yeah, exactly. And then my sister was already here and we're like, well, let's just try Adelaide. Let's just go to Adelaide. And then here I am. Ta-da!
It's pretty like you.
How long are we? 31 minutes.
We've done but you've done like
we almost done, guys.
And I mean, I didn't know you up until 3 years ago, so I really can only connect with your journey when you got here. And I mean, like that's something that we can definitely touch on tonight. In that there's been so much that you have done in here to still there's been so much growth, I suppose, that you have had over the last sort of 3 years that I've known you. Because I mean, now I guess talking from where my experience is, we were just about to lose our Samba instructor at our studio at the time, and we weren't really sure exactly where that next Samba instructor was going to come from. And from one lucky person to another lucky person, our studio owner happened to kind of cross paths with you at a time where she was thinking, probably, I can't speak on behalf of her, but she didn't have necessarily anybody else. So for us, we were like, okay, cool. So our sub instructor's gone. So what's next? And then
Ta-da! He's
you
the
were there.
queen.
And I mean the first time that we sort of met, you were like, oh cool, this is good, because we had a male Samba instructor beforehand, and he was very classically trained, which was a great thing for some of us if we've had that background, but just a different style. And we're thinking, okay, this new girl, she's wearing the little skirt with the little shorts. Coming in.
Is this what you thought about me?
You came in wearing a skirt with little shorts.
Yeah, I know, but that's ridiculous.
No, but I guess I don't really wear that stuff when I Samba. So I was like, that's cool fashion. I like what she's wearing. She had cool trainers on. I didn't know what else to think. But you whipped us into shape. But you did some study and preparation, I think, for coming and seeing us a little bit as well, you were saying. In that, you were approached by our studio owner, and you were basically, obviously given an opportunity to come and teach at the studio.
Yeah.
Samba. And so obviously, you've been dancing on cruise ships, you've been elsewhere, you've been choreographing for big world events.
Yeah.
And it's now it's bringing you back home, and it's okay, you're going to focus on Samba now.
That's very true. Yeah.
So you would have had to kind of reconnect with that side of yourself, and you've got the creativity that you didn't have when you were on the cruise ship.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, it's kind of like the ball's in your court. This is who you are. This is your culture that you're representing. What are you going to do? So how did you prepare for that? I mean, obviously you're teaching us. We were sponges, ready to kind of take on what it is that you had to teach us. Were you comfortable with that role initially, or was that something that you had to kind of feel like you needed to prepare for?
I was not comfortable. Oh, I did not see that coming. Yes, I was not. I was definitely not 100% comfortable. I was really, how can I say? It's just that I just felt like, can I, because I respect a lot of people. They are back in Brazil working with Samba. So I was just it was a mix of everything.
Yeah.
But then I was just no, if I'm doing this, I'll do the right way, because this is how I do things in my life anyway. So I did contact someone in Brazil. I started online classes for myself and to be able to recreate that for you guys. So this is how I met Mayara Santos. So she is my coach. So she's my Samba coach. And before having this first class with you guys, I had a few classes with her to kind of put myself back in place. But yeah, like you said, it was great that I still had this autonomy to just, do whatever I wanted. And Emily from La Bomba, she was just like, oh, this is the song I want to use. Let's have a choreography. And I could just create what I wanted, which was Mini Saya choreography and took us somewhere.
Hey, I was involved in that.
You were involved in that. So Mini Saya.
Yeah, there we go, from one mini skirt to another. You embodied Mini Saya when you walked through the studio.
Did
and then
you
made
practice that or did you just come up with it?
No, I just came up with that.
So good. Well, anyways, yeah. So Mini Saya, what happened was we had this competition, which is where the Queen comes from. So we took Mini Saya choreography. We just did, we had a little. We adapted a little bit for 4 people, and then we won first place.
In bathers.
So the girls won first place, and along with all the choreographers. So pretty much in this competition, everything that we brought. So I choreographed or I coached. We placed something. Most of them were first place. We only got one person that got third. All the rest was third place. No, all the rest was first place. So
including Mini Saya.
Including Mini Saya and myself. This is when I got the title of the Australasia Samba Queen. And I must say,
what?
That was in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2022. And Australasia Samba Queen is still...
And me.
That you are the Australasia... What are you?
I think I'm the Musa.
You're Musa.
Yeah.
Yes. And you won a title too.
So technically we still are the carryover champions because we have not been able to compete within all of Australasia.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I'm happy with that. I'll hold on to that.
They did.
I don't think I win it anymore, but I'll take the title and I'll keep the crown.
They did have a competition last year, but it was Queensland Samba Queen, which is not Australasia. Okay. I must say. Anyways, just a kiss to Michelle and Sasha. They organized this amazing event, and
we tried to get over there.
Yeah. But this year they're probably gonna have again, and I will finally have to hand out my crown. I even brought my crown here today.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to compete. It's an impressive crown.
Yeah, it is.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I'm going to have to hand my crown over too. I don't think I'm going to be able to perform.
That's all right.
Unless they have like a baby mama section or something.
Oh, yeah, Jess is pregnant. Jess is pregnant. You need to show your belly.
She's obsessed with my belly.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know anyone that's more obsessed with my belly apart from my partner, you. I
come in second.
You try to put glitter on it on Sunday.
Yeah.
You put it as one of the photos for your next show.
Why not? Anyways.
I'm basically a saint that's just going to be walking around with my stomach out on stage.
Yeah,
this is basically like an unofficial maternity photo shoot and video.
Yes. So
I don't think I'm going to be competing, and you're coaching more than you're dancing then now.
I am. Then things changed for me a little bit, and I mean, I will always be grateful for La Bomba. They are my family. They are my samba family. And I'm still working with them this year, just choreographing or having like different projects, but not really teaching weekly basis. What?
I guess like you're not teaching weekly classes like you used to be. You're not like on the teaching.
And then
roster.
I have my own exciting projects coming for the year. So like I said, being a bit more organized is giving me space to actually create even more. So instead of, I have this one project because it's last minute. Now
you're not even sleeping at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not. I can see my agenda and understand if I have the time to fit another craziness.
I think that's the thing though. If you want a job done, give it to a busy person. And you're so busy that you just keep taking on all these extra jobs.
Like this.
But at the same time, it all comes back to, the dance queen, like the samba queen. That's it. It all comes back to the queen. And I think every project that you've got right now is linking back to that one thing. It's all connected, and there's one thing goes off here, one thing goes off there, but it's all representing the same thing.
It is.
And so like it's easy, I can see, for all these little things to kind of like pop up because you're in this creative zone right now where things are just coming at you really naturally, and you've got the fact that you're in an Adelaide location where you're knowing so many more people now that you can start to like fuel this creative process and come up with new projects all the time.
Yeah.
but you just make sure you finish a project, go on to something else.
Yeah, exactly. Because at the moment, I'm not finishing a project and starting another one. I just have 3,000 projects at the same time. So
But it's a busy time of the year for Adelaide.
It
This
is.
is the busiest time that Adelaide comes
and
alive.
what is this time now? What is the name of this time?
The Adelaide Fringe.
The Fringe. Yeah. So talking about Fringe, this is one of my projects for this year. It's completely a last minute, thing. But yes, I am putting a Fringe show for this year, 2022. We are in preparation. Soon you can buy the tickets. We are just finishing the registration now. We had this amazing photo shoot at midnight by Alex Govea. Woo! Aka, the same guy here. The photos are amazing, and I just cannot wait to post everything for you guys to see. But in first hand now, the Adelaide Fringe 2022, you gotta watch A Carnival Dream.
Mm-hmm.
It is a bit of everything. We are taking you to Rio de Janeiro.
Because we can't go right now.
We can't go right now, so that craziness, and you'll see. So that's one project for this year.
It's a big one.
Yes, it is a big one. And I believe, we kind of, did we talk about everything we wanted? We did, right?
Well, I mean, I haven't been to any rehearsals yet for this, but I'm going to assure you that I'll get up to speed some way,
You'll be
somehow, and try not to have a baby in the middle of the show.
Yeah, but and then I do have the Carnival at RD.
Yeah, that's true.
AD?
That's coming up before the Fringe.
How do I pronounce that?
80 Reserve,
80
isn't it?
Reserve. Carnival 80 Reserve. That's a free event. So that's the event that I got with the council. So Norwood Council.
Yeah.
It's putting funds towards it. So it's going to be 4 weeks of fun, 4 weeks of workshops, samba, capoeira, frevo, makulele, and then the very final one, which is going to be on Carnival Sunday in Brazil in our calendar. It's our Carnival Party here. So everyone is invited. It's free. We're going to have live music, a bit of a show as well, a glitter party, and that's going to be on the 27th of February, but it starts now on the 6th. So this Sunday, after tomorrow, is our first session. So every Sunday of February, and then the final one, 27th of February, the big party. It's a block party, so it's a carnival
Bringing
block
Carnival
party.
to Adelaide.
Bringing Carnival
And
to
then
Adelaide.
extending it a little bit, and then we've got Carnival
and
Dream.
then we have Carnival Dream. There you go.
Because we're dreaming of it more.
That's the the main projects right now. And of course, the Queencast. It's a huge project too. Look at all these set up. I'm so excited. And,
It's great.
And,
You've got everything going on for you right now. And you've got so many people in your corner as well. Like, it's great to be part of these sort of projects just as an individual, because let's be honest, we haven't really been doing that much that, in the last few years. We haven't been able to travel. We haven't been able to attend Carnival. We haven't been able to do the shows and the competitions that we normally would be doing. So as far as the artist industry goes, we're wanting to do these things.
Yeah.
So these are like good opportunities and avenues for artists to connect and to start to work together and put on these things, because we're ready for it. Like, we've been waiting for it. And that's a big thing. I feel like a lot of people are just keen to get on board with whatever you throw at them, because something's better than nothing. And all these projects are so exciting for everybody.
we are all kind of thirsty for projects. Anyway,
Yeah,
so.
exactly. So that's like, that brings us kind of like to the now. Yeah. Like, we've covered all the things that have kind of got you to where you need to be.
Just for you to have an idea of who I am, like how I started, why you the queen. I mean,
what is this queen business?
I call myself a queen anyways, regardless of the title of the Australian December Queen. But yes, it's the queen of a miracle.
And you've been called a queen many times throughout your life in one way or another.
Yes, exactly.
Anything for my queen.
Yeah,
All of that sort of stuff.
All
Like,
the top. We have so much to talk. So
we could go on forever.
Make clear to people that are here and people that watch these later that every time we come back here, there is a topic of my life that it somehow it's gonna be related to yours.
One way or another.
Yes, you can relate, because it's it's just the crazy day life that we have and things happening, and so there are so many topics. We already discussed about a few, and of course we don't want to take too long tonight, but yes, so it is exciting. Maybe now tonight you find out about the queen, how I met Jess, that she is got a title too. It's not just me a queen, everyone is the queen. That's the motto.
Yeah.
And the Queencast is pretty much it. I want it to be empowering. So, not just for women, mostly for women, but for anyone who is watching to feel like empowered by these crazy ideas.
Yeah.
If you do have a crazy idea, go for it. And like, what happened to me here, I was working to this big bank, Westpac, and then I could get promoted too. And then I just decided to, no, I just want days. I want to follow my dreams and go teach at the park.
And start Carnival Dream.
Exactly. So, so it's going to be very interesting and I'm super excited. And
I'm keen to be along for the journey.
I'm so happy to have you here as a co-host. So I forgot to introduce her. She is actually a co-host. She's not just a guest. When she goes for maternity leave, it's when we're going to have a few guests coming in.
Yeah.
And then
the rest of the cast.
And then she's taking only 1 month of maternity leave.
No, I'm not. I don't think Ben would appreciate that. He'll have more time off than I will. He'll be the stay-at-home dad.
Let's see. Ben, do you agree?
No, 3 months, but hey, I could always pop in.
Yeah, of course.
But that's all right. Let's hope it happens, a little bit further down the track. I've got some things that I needed to get done before this baby arrives.
But thank you so much for coming today and have this chat with me. I'm feeling like, I think I told a little bit of everything.
Well, I found out more information about you that I didn't know.
Yeah, you found out that my mom did a mom.
That and other things.
Next time, I'll bring photos of my mom holding my older sister, my middle sister, and myself. We'll see how my mom did not want. But today, this is in the past. She loves me, and she tells me that every day. So don't think.
And she's proud of you.
What's that? A mental
breakdown.
I'm completely fine. But so stay tuned. We're gonna try to keep the Queencast very often. We need to discuss.
Well, when we got talking about how this Queencast was going to come about, we had all these topics to talk about, about various aspects, not just of your life, but just of how things have come to be and certain areas that you can really connect with and your audience can connect with. So there's heaps of things we can have to talk about.
Yeah.
That it's not worth fitting in one episode. So we have to have more in order to go
and
ahead.
we'll be more organized. I promise I'll have a topic written down and everything. I just wanted to try these out.
I think this is exactly where it needed to start, though. Because how are they supposed to catch on to this podcast if they don't really know anything about you? Yeah. So we needed to start here. Yeah. And it's exactly what we've done.
Yes, and that's great, and I feel great. So once again, thank you so much. Just before we finish, I just wanted to mention the Queen Factory Shop, which is a project from last year, but it's still in time to talk about it.
Why not?
I also do sell samba shoes imported from Brazil.
Stunning.
Yes.
Shoes.
They are. You have to try more. There are more new shipment coming from the new collection, and I wanted to try some.
All right.
And we have lots of stuff.
I'll walk around the house with the baby in them.
If you can follow, just grab that for me, please. If you can follow the Queen Factory Shop on Instagram or on Facebook, that would be amazing. And let's see if you can you, do you want me to leave it here? Or good. You can put it back. Thank you.
All right.
And the Queen Factory Shop and the Samba Garage, lots of things happening. All you gotta do, you know the drill, follow the Queen. So Talita Dance Queen on Instagram, Facebook, and all the crazy projects. So you'll find the Queen Factory Shop, and soon the Queencast on YouTube. So we are working now on having it live on YouTube. So you get there. Just stay tuned. I'll let you guys know, right?
Yep. Sounds
I think
good.
this is it.
We're done.
We are done.
We're finished.
It is 49 minutes and 38 seconds.
That's pretty good.
Well, we went over a little bit.
Yeah.
We wanted to do 30 minutes for the first one, but we talked a lot.
Nothing like an intro.
Anyways.
That's okay. They can stay tuned for the next episode.
It's Carnival, baby. Thank you so much, everyone. If you've been here watching, hey, Talita, let's just quick read these messages. Hey, Talita, this was really fun to listen to. Yay! Yes! Clap! And this and that. Amazing. Love, love, love. Thank you so much, everyone.
I love looking at all these.
If you've been here watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And my sister said that the name of the operation is tube ligations. There you go. A bit late that I saw that, but anyway. My mom didn't want me, and my sister said me neither. Thank you so much for the love.
I'm going to have
Anyways,
fun reading these.
Thank you so much, everyone. We'll be back soon. I will let you know when is the next one, even if it's live here on Instagram or live on YouTube. And we're gonna record these and we put in somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll let you know too, so you can share everywhere, and then we can grow this community. So I really appreciate that you've been here for this whole time, and I see you around. So this is a ciao for now.
Ciao for now.
Ciao for now.
Bye. See ya.